Intense combat with all the classic style of the saga, and the returns of Luminosity, the Mega Evolutions, and new real-time combat system. This has been the most interesting thing about the most recent Pokémon Presents 2025 that has left us two very interesting games that will be the joy of fans of Pocket Monsters. Let's talk about all this and let's get started. For me, one of the most interesting announcements was Pokémon Champions. A new game is still in development that seems like a kind of spiritual successor to the classic Pokémon Stadium. This game is being developed by the Pokémon Works, a studio under the supervision of Game Freak, and it's a title that will focus on traditional Pokémon battles, so it seems to be designed to competitive trainers and be an attempt by the Pokémon Company to attract new players to main games in the series. Champions will cross combat against players from all over the world, since in addition to Nintendo Switch, this game will also come to iOS and Android. At the moment, there are not many details, but it's now that you'll be able to transfer your Scarlet and Violet Pokémon in addition to Pokémon Go thanks to the Pokémon Home app. This spiritual successor to Stadium will have a strong focus on the competitive play, as it will include classic mechanics of the series, such as strategies by type, skills and movements that will delight the most hardcore trainers. However, it's now that the game will have different mods to adapt the players of all ages. Another interesting fact is that in this game we can combine and confront the mechanics of Mega Evolution and Terastallization, something that opens up a new range of possibilities to create different strategies to defeat your opponent. For now, Pokémon Champions doesn't have an official release date, but we were promised that there will be news about the game later. No doubt, this game is one of the most interesting announcements of Pokémon Presents. What do you think? Of course, the most relevant thing about the event was the formal presentation of Pokémon Legends CA, the new main game in the series that brought us back to Lumiosity and the return of the beloved Mega Evolutions. The game's story takes place in Lumiosity, where a development plan managed by a major company called Wizartico Inc. is on their way to make the city an ideal place for both Pokémon and people. Unlike what we saw in Pokémon X and Y, the city now has more vegetation and cutting-edge facilities. In Lumiosity, space frequented by people such as galleries, cafes and restaurants coexist with more natural areas such as docks and green parks. In the center of Lumios is the Prism Tower, the very symbol of the city. While visiting Lumiosity, players will stay in an old hotel called Hotel Sida. This building will serve as our main base while we play the game story. It has been confirmed that this time, the starters will be Chikorita of the grass type, Totodile of the water type and Tepig of the fire element. On their side, you'll be able to capture various species of Pokémon in some of the new wild areas available in the city. These areas are spaces adapted so that the Pokémon feel more comfortable, as if they were in their natural habitat. To catch the Pokémon, you'll see the classic Pokéballs, however, some Pokémon may flee when they see you, so you'll have to approach them from behind with stealth, or you can choose to fight them to weaken them before the capture. Something very interesting is that in Legends CA we'll use a new real-time combat system, where both our character and our Pokémon will be able to move freely and dodge attacks during fights. In addition to type compatibility, there will be new mechanics to take into account, such as the exact time to switch your Pokémon or use their moves, as well as the area where attacks will take effect. This style of Pokémon combat, never seen before, is one of the most exciting aspects of this title, and is an evolution of the system we saw in Legends Arceus. We know that Mega Evolution are returning, but until now we have not had any new Mega confirmed. However, we had a look at classic like Mega Charizard X and Y, Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Lucario or Mega Gardevoir among others. Mega Evolutions will be very important in the new free combat system of this title. Along with all protagonists, some of the important characters will be Urban or Tony, a friend who lives and works at Hotel Sida, supporting the owner in everything he or she can, and who will be a kind of friend or rival during your adventure. Sida, a man who is over 9 feet tall, owner of Hotel Zeta and claims to be 3000 years old. His silence harbors a strong determination and will. Another character, Jet, is the CEO of Quasartico Inc., the large corporation driving the Lumiose City redevelopment plan with the goal of making the city the ideal place for humans and Pokémon. And of course Zygarde, a creature composed of cell-like units and that changes shape depending how many cells have been gathered. His brain is made up of the few existing Zygarde cores, while the rest of his body is made up of Zygarde cells, which are much more abundant. But what could be his connection to the story? Finally, Pokémon Legends CA will arrive on Nintendo Switch at the end of 2025, but it doesn't have an exact release date. This has been the most important thing about Pokémon present, at least for me. What do you think of these Pokémon games? Is what you expected for the series, or will we be facing yet another disappointment? Don't leave without first leaving your opinions and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments and shoot the likes. Thanks for watching, and remember, I'll see you soon in the next video here on the Beat Island.